Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Kevin Dolan and Brian Leonard of WagerTalk.com, and we are talking an Iowa State Iowa battle, one of the best rivalry names in sports, the Cy-Hawk Trophy here, 40.5 being the total. Brian, coming to you first. We're seeing the Hawkeyes -3.5, actually, -4 at some shops, looking at the WagerTalk Live Odds screen. Are you liking anything here? Cyclones and Hawkeyes on Saturday.
Yeah, this is one of the games I gave my clients when it was 3. I used Iowa minus the 3. First of all, it's rare that you get a team. Just 2 weeks ago in the South Point games of the years, Iowa was minus 12.5, 13. Now they're laying 3.5. That's an awful big differential from just one game being played, especially in a game where your defense outscored the opponent's offense. The problem was Iowa didn't do a thing offensively. We kind of knew that coming into the season. They haven't had a good quarterback in a few years, and they didn't. They brought back the guy they had last year. He's a senior now. He didn't perform well, but they don't really have much behind them, so they don't have that ability to make that change. And if they do, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. If you're going to bet Iowa, you bet them for the defense. They've got a terrific defense. Once again, only allowing 3 points last week. This is a team that has by far the better defense in this game, if you ask me. And if you read any of the quotes coming out of Iowa or some of the videos, it's clear the Iowa fans were not happy with the offense last week. They booed the team at home. And usually when you get a team playing at home after the fans come out and do that, I like to bet on that team. So you got a team at home that didn't do anything offensively, booed by the home fans. It's been talked about in Iowa as if they lost that game. And the players said, hey, we're 1-0. That was our goal going into that game, is to win the game. They won the game. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't good offensively at all. In fact, I believe it was the worst quarterback performance than any winning team since 2013. And I can't remember the person who tweeted that out. I give him credit, but just tells you how poorly that offense worked. But Iowa's been dealing with that kind of offense for the last few years. I'm not too worried about that. Iowa State's a team that lost a lot of players in the offseason. They are coming off a big victory against a nobody last week, but they still gave up 4.5 yards per carry. And that's what Iowa's going to do. Iowa should be able to run the ball right down their throat. Don't think Iowa State can do that to Iowa. Line's going up for a reason. Laid the 3. It's still 4. I'm fine with 4. But like I said, it was like 12.5, 13 just a week ago on the futures. So I think we get a little bit of an advantage here for a team that has also had a lot of success against Iowa State lately. They went to Iowa State last year, won by 10. This is a cheap number, if you ask me, for the Hawkeyes.
Good stuff, Brian. Cy-Hawk style Saturday in Iowa City here. Kevin, are you liking anything in this matchup?
I agree with Brian. Just in terms of the total as well, we always see such a low total whenever these two teams match up. 45 last year, 41 this year. But going back what we've seen last week with Iowa, it's for a good reason. The under's also gone 12-3-1 between these two programs over the last 16 head-to-heads. 7-0 when Iowa are installed as the home team as well. So I certainly don't want to stand in front of that train. But in terms of the side, yeah, I completely agree with Brian. That was an absolutely dismal display, in fairness, from the Hawkeyes. I can see where they were booed off the pitch last week because, Spencer Prattras connected with just 11 of 25 through the air. Brian mentioned it, 1.1 quarterback rating last week. You can't get much lower than that. So it has to go up, right? It has to go up for Iowa this week. And he has shown some ability in big games to bounce back. He put up a 17-4 touchdown to interception ratio in a 12-game winning streak back between 2020 to 2021. So he's obviously capable of putting up better numbers. So, you look at the game last year between these two down in Ames, and the Cyclones absolutely owned Iowa pretty much in every stat. Bar the box score. Iowa State had a 21-11 first down advantage over the Hawkeyes in that game. 339 to 173 total yards advantage as well. But they simply couldn't get it over the line. A 3 and 12 third down conversion rate probably didn't help with that. So I am a little nervous about looking towards the Hawkeyes in this spot. But, as Brian said, the line value is too compelling here. not to take a piece of the Hawkeyes in this one, based purely off one game, like he said. So, it won't be a 5% play by any stretch of me in this one, but if I am playing it, I'm going to take the Hawkeyes as well.
All right, guys. Good stuff from both Kevin Dolan and Brian Leonard. Check them both out, WagerTalk.com. And as we're talking about these line moves, -3, like Brian talked about, -3.5, as high as -4 now on the Hawkeyes at some shops. You can check all of that out using the live odds tab on WagerTalk.com.